around K-pop, you've probably heard about this drummer, Video.Guru. He's the artist that trained for 8 years as a drummer and made his TV debut in 2020, then broke a drumstick and was kicked out of his group. Sad to say, you might never hear from this drummer ever again for the next 6 years, as his company has sued him to delete his Instagram, YouTube, and banned him from making any public appearance. He can't make music, he can't do anything. To give you a little background on Victor, he's born under a Brazilian father and a Korean mother, moved into Korea in 2005, picked up drums in 2010, and was casted by a music label in 2012. He would then spend the next 8 years as a trainee, and then he eventually made his debut with a group called About You. The group got their first TV appearance on February 21st, 2020, and gained some traction online due to their weird-ass lyrics on their song about stealing candy. It's basically a song about who stole my candy. Candy's actually just a metaphor for a girl. Plus, Victor's ambiguous look and very powerful drumming and his vampire-y eyes drew the attention of the K-nets, earning him the nickname Drumja or Drum King. However, this little relevance that this group enjoyed for a very short time, actually thanks to Victor, was broken thanks to a broken stick which occurred on March 8, 2020, where Victor broke his drumsticks at the end of a TV performance. On this very day, his company, ironically called Corona X Entertainment, tells Victor to pack his bags, that he's fired from the group for his stick break led them to being banned from the TV station. Now, this was a blessing in disguise, as he opened his YouTube channel just 3 days later after being kicked out, and instantly people started flocking to Victor's channel. And on the channel, Victor gives some hot-ass tea about his departure from the group, his story about the stick break leading him to getting banned and kicked out of the group, and everybody being pissed at Corona X. And after that, he just gains 200,000 subscribers in 12 days, which is the greatest feat that anybody from this Corona X company has ever achieved. He was the most relevant artist 3 days after he got kicked out. Now, eventually, Victor got so popular that he even went on to NBC's variety show, Radio Star, and really made himself known nationwide. The people loved him, and we all rooted for his story. He was sticking up to the man and giving a big middle finger to the labels. The label, obviously unhappy, sued Victor on July 11th. 2020 for defamation. They stated that his video explaining the process of him being kicked out because of a stick break was actually inaccurate and was causing harm to Corona X. They claimed that the real reason was not the stick break, but was that Victor had cut himself in the arms and threatened staff members on site during or before the performance. Surprisingly, Victor actually did admit that he cut himself in the dressing room, albeit it wasn't a very deep cut, and he stated that the staff members were actually helping Victor and they did not feel threatened. They were actually worried for him. He also bravely opened up about his panic attacks and depression, which led him to use self-harm as a coping mechanism. So I feel really bad for him, and I think a lot of people did feel bad for this guy. Now, if being sued for defamation wasn't enough, Corona X Entertainment also filed an injunction on the very same day, July 11th, 2020, to stop all public activities of Video.Guru in the entertainment field. Corona stated that Victor was still under contract at Corona X Entertainment, and him creating a YouTube channel without their permission was a no-go. Now, luckily, in October 2020, he won both cases, as he should, and he was cleared with defamation, and the injunction was denied, though Corona immediately did appeal to the verdict. Now, there was a layer of complexity added to the situation, as we learned, because Victor was not only tied down to one contract, but also 3. There was one with the group or / Corona X, and then there's one for each of the 2 parent companies of Corona X. It's a very complicated situation. Honestly, nothing's very clear because the information about Corona X or any of these parent companies are not really available to the public. To make things worse, the management writes to Victor had been transferred to Amp Music or was in the process of such, who I'm assuming is a parent company, though I can't be quite sure. So now, after Corona lost and was denied their control over Victor and blocking him from all activities, Amp Music, who now held the management rights to Victor, filed another injunction to stop him from having any public presence. Like, talk about being resilient, I guess, if you want to call it that, consistent. Unfortunately for Victor, on July 28th, 2021, Amp Music was granted their injunction from the court, now making Victor unable to make any public appearances at all. The court ruled in favor of the label as the contract had never actually been terminated. Victor still had to respect the contract because he was technically under the management of this company while he was kicked out of the group. So he just got kicked out of the group, but they never terminated the contract. Now, coincidentally, just 3 days after this verdict, Victor released his debut single as a solo artist, but was taken down after the injunction was taken into effect. Soon, his YouTube channel as well as his Instagram accounts were taken down, and basically all his social media presence was wiped out. And as of now, he is barred from writing, singing, performing, producing music, and also creating public YouTube channels, Instagram pages, and other social media pages. Of course, he's also not allowed on any TV shows either. Basically, anything that involves entertainment, music, celebrity, he can't do any of that. He's gone invisible, and even the news outlets haven't talked about him since the August of 2021. The last article that was published was August 10th in Korea. And this will be the status quo until he gets the first verdict of his main case, which I believe is regarding the termination of his contract. However, it's also unclear because there's so many different cases going on at the moment, and it seems like all the media outlets are just reciting every single little thing that the other media outlets are reciting. So everybody's just parroting everybody, and none of them are very clear about what is this first verdict. Now, you might be asking, how is this possible? How is it possible for a company to do this? Well, actually, I've looked through a lot of contracts, and it's very common for companies to have complete control over the artist's public persona. Obviously, Victor having never terminated his contract, or rather his company never letting him go, they are still in control over him. They kicked him out of the group, but they kept him under the contract and under their legal control. It's truly unfortunate that we can lose such great, passionate artists like Victor due to legal issues. I mean, if you look at this guy playing the drums, he's all excited and happy. And we may never get to see him again for the next 6 years, 5 years. Now, one hopeful matter is that usually in cases like these, and believe me, there are plenty of lawsuits in the same nature in less mainstream K-pop labels. Usually the major ones, they got all that shit handled. But when you go to the bottom half, oh man, shit like this happens all the time. And usually in those cases, idols go home with a W. Though at that point, I don't know what a W is anymore, after all this legal issue and, taking the time away from the artist. But in the meantime, I think it's best to just spread awareness. Try spread awareness by talking about Victor and cases like his. And I've seen hashtags like Free Victor or Gathering Stream online. And we just gotta let him know that we remember him. And not only that, but let the label know that we remember him, and we'll never forget this. And furthermore, we really need to fix these contracts in K-pop in general. I understand that the companies don't want artists to think that they can go off running to another company or doing their own thing after they've invested so much money into them. But at the same time, what good does this kind of stalemate bring? The company continues to lose money on legal fees and also gets terrible publicity, while the talented young artist gets silenced for 6-7 years, the rest of his contract doing nothing, stuck in a prison. In the end, this is a lose-lose battle, and I really hope we can fix that for the better. Please share this video if you think that this is a helpful message or something that people should know about. And until next time, I'm Danny Kim, and bye-bye.